What's going down, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Camping with Coleman. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman. Today we're gonna do things a little different. I've got to work on the Jeep. We've got some Jeep issues. The other day we went out to my cousin's house, which is off grid, down some really rough, bumpy roads, lots of washboards and stuff, so corrugation. And I think I might have knocked something loose. We're hoping that's the case. Either that or my engine might finally be going out. So fingers crossed, we're going to go out and check. I have a feeling it's the idle air control valve or a sensor of some kind. I have a feeling that I knocked a sensor loose or a wire loose somewhere and it's causing a vacuum leak maybe or a misreading somewhere. So anyways, we're going to go out. We're going to see what's going on. It's got a low idle. At least the last time I drove it had a low idle, and in overdrive there was no power at all in low RPMs. It would almost shudder, and when I pop the hood, it sounds like it's missing, like it's not firing on all cylinders, and there's a whistle. Sounds like a vacuum leak somewhere. So I'm not really sure. It could be idle air control valve, could be PCM, could be a host of different things. So we're just gonna go out and poke around and see what we can figure out. And then when we're done with that, I have a box to open up. So let's do it. Alright. So let's fire this bad boy up. See what happens. I can still feel it's definitely off. It is definitely off. So let's take a look. Pressure is not moving at all. Why is that? That's new. Interesting. Let's do some research.
Hey there.
Alright, you guys, so this is what's going down. I just called up my buddy Jason at Daniel Automotive. He has been helping me out a lot with this Jeep lately, and when I can't figure something out, I know that he's pretty much going to know it. He's a Jeep guru. So we're gonna cruise up there. His shop actually isn't far from my house, and I think this will make it. So what we're gonna do is we're going to take it up there and let it idle in front of him and just see if he can kind of point me in the right direction. I checked the idle air control valve. It's still working when I unplug it. The Jeep dies. It looks clean. I checked the vacuum lines that I can see. Everything looks fine. I checked a bunch of stuff, throttle position sensor, a bunch of things, and I'm not finding anything that's off or odd or not working appropriately. The only thing I can think is, and I pray it's not this, is the crank positioning sensor, and I hope it's not that because I've dealt with that before on another ZJ, and it's all the way in the back on the passenger side, like basically on the bell housing where the it reads the flywheel. So it's, oh man, I hope it's not that. It's a pain in the ass. So anyways, let's head up there and see what Jason thinks. Still has power. It's not dying. It's just running like it's missing a cylinder or something. It's really weird. The oil pressure gauge is not moving at all. Like not even a little bit. So I'm not sure what that means. Like it's not even budging. Automotive. This guy does an amazing job. You guys have a Jeep or anything really for that matter, you need some work done, come check this man out. Ooh, she's shaking pretty hard right now. So weird. All right. All right, so Jason just looked at it and he said that he thinks it's honestly just a fouled plug. He climbed underneath of it. He said, I definitely messed my exhaust up more. He can hear it leaking way worse than it was last time. So I probably, all the, you know, mobbing down the corrugations, the washboard road, probably knocked the exhaust loose or cracked it even more, broke a weld or something. But then also, he told me before to expect the plugs to go bad because I have bad cylinders and a lot of blow-by. So, or not a lot of blow-by, but I've got a, actually we can go straight across this. I've got bad valve guide seals, so there's a lot of oil being pushed through the engine and it's fouling my plugs, and he told me to expect that before, and so I think that's a major part of what's going on. The issue is there's no way to know until I change the plugs, so, and that's a pain in the butt with this Jeep. So anyways, we'll see what happens. I think we're just gonna leave it for now, and maybe this week when we'll dive back into it. Let's go home and open a box. All right, you guys, it's later in the day, hanging out the little man. He's eating some avocado and, well, more like smearing it all over his face and getting pissed at me. And we're watching some Boosted Boys, hanging out with Deebs here. So I'm gonna keep feeding him, and then we'll go back and open that box. Okay. Here it comes. Let me know what you guys think. Oh, all over the face. Oh, you want to hold it yourself now, huh? Is that what's going on here? You trying to hold it yourself? Yeah? You want to do it again? Here, you hold it. Okay. There you go. Good job. Good job. See, now we got to get more. All right, you guys, back in the studio. It's actually pretty late at night now, and I've got the Jeep sitting here because I've got a package for it, and I have a feeling that what is in that package is for this Jeep. So let me grab it real quick. 1 second. Boom. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and do a little unboxing. It's not the biggest box in the world, but this has some goodies in it. It's got some weight to it. So let's go ahead and get it cracked open. All right, now before I get into this, I should say this box comes from AMAIN, you guys. This is a box I've been waiting on for a little while. I'm pretty stoked on this. I hit on my boy Sean. He helped me locate some parts that I was after to help get this done. So that being said, let's go ahead and dive into this now, see what we got. First up, SSD drive shaft. This is a steel drive shaft, I believe. It's really scale, and this is for the Axial Yeti. It's SSD 00073. there's a reason I got this. I actually got this to go on the back of this, but that's because the original drive shafts are just way too short. The other drive shafts I purchased were too short, so I said, heck with it, I'm going to get the longest one I can find, and then if it's too long, I can just chop it down a little bit. But that's the one I went for, so stoked on that. Well, let's just get this box out of the way here first. Next up is this. This is ProTech RC. This is a LiPo battery, 3,000 milliamps. This is stoked. This is something I'm stoked on. I actually forgot about this. Get this out of here. It's a tiny little battery. You guys are probably wondering what this is for. This is a 3,000 milliamp one cell 8C 3.7 volt LiPo battery, and this is for this. Super stoked on this, man. This is a great radio. This is the Sanwa MT44, formerly Airtronics. If you open it up though, it's got this little unique system. It only runs off of 3 AAA batteries, and who really has AAAs on hand all the time? It's kind of rare for me, so I always have AA's. But now I can get rid of that and just run this. I'm really excited about that. I need to charge it, I'm sure, but let's just see. Oh, Action Jackson. Yeah, it works. So now I won't have to worry about this. I can set that aside or keep it for backup just in case this dies and I don't have time to charge it, which is really rare. I mean, 3,000 milliamps, I highly doubt this is going to die in a standard trail session. So in case it does, I can also plug this in, I believe. Maybe, yeah, maybe. I don't remember. Oh yeah, down here. Or how's that work? I don't really know how this works. It's got a thing right here. Interesting. I don't know. We'll have to mess with this later on, but I thought I could plug this in maybe once it's got this, but I could be wrong. I could have just been thinking about the SD. Maybe I was just thinking about that. But either way, really excited to have this. Get that out of there and see if I can get this in. Boom. Fits perfect right in there like that. And there we go. All done. Alright, so next up we've got a bag of goodies here. And this has got a bunch of stuff in it. This little bag is feeling pretty heavy. And there's a reason for that. In this bag, we got a bunch of stuff. First up, we have from STRC. We have some, these are the CNC machined HQ brass rear lockouts for the SCX-10-2 axles. I wanted these ones. I wanted the brass ones, but I got STRC because they are the closest to replicating the factory ones. So that's why I wanted those ones. I didn't want anything where I could bolt on weights or anything like that. I didn't like that for the rear. I just wanted these. Plus the rear part of the axle doesn't need to be that heavy. Next up, let's see what we got here. We'll go with this. We've got some Samix SCX-10-2 brass hub carriers, right? So these are the C hubs for those of you that are OGs. I went for these ones just because actually I don't remember why I went for these ones. There was a reason why I went for these ones, but I like them mainly because they're all black and they weren't all brass colored. I'm trying to avoid that, even though I know that some of the better components are still all brass colored. I'm not comping or anything like that. For me, it's just more of a scale thing. I just like things to be all blacked out under. So let's move on from there. The next thing we have is some Vanquish products, brass whatchamadiggits here. You guys know what those are. I forget the name of them. The little pivot balls. There we go. Brass pivot balls. I just call them whatchamadiggits. That's just to add a little extra weight down low. I'm doing everything I can to get that weight down low right now. Next up we have Samix SCX-10-2 brass lower shock suspension mounts. And this is just to replace the factory mounts and get a little bit more weight on the axle. These are actually pretty dang heavy. If you guys go onto AMAIN's website, you can actually see how much each one of these brass items weighs, so you know how much you're adding to the overall weight of your build. So I don't remember off the top of my head what each one of these are, but it's definitely on there. I'll try to leave links or something like that in the description for you guys. But definitely check these out on AMAIN's website, and all the weight is listed there. It's pretty cool. What do we got next? Next up, we have wheel hexes from Team K&K Hardware. These are the 8mm brass hexes. Team K&K Hardware is one of my longtime sponsors. These guys are amazing. They've got a ton of awesome products, obviously hardware, but there's a lot more than just hardware there. These are going to come in handy. I only got one set, I believe, and yeah, I did. And I did that on purpose. These are going on the rear, that's why. And for the front, I went ahead and got, from Beef Tubes, these beef patties, as they call them. Yeah, beef patties, the hex style ones. And those are going to go ahead and take up the front there. Now, I don't know why I did that, because with these wheels, you won't be able to see them at all. And it's no detail in the back, which that's something, just a shout out to Beef Tubes there. If I could make a recommendation, putting these same scribe marks in the back would make a world of a difference for some of us here, because just looking through and seeing it from that angle and being able to see it would look great instead of just seeing just a clear, or a smooth surface there. So just throwing that out there. Just I don't know if that even matters, but that's just a recommendation for me as a scale nerd here. Next thing I got is also from Beef Tubes here. These are basically just for the bottom of your shocks. The beef tips is what they're calling these, but they're basically for the bottom of the shock. The catch piece here, it goes on the bottom of the shock, the spring retainer or whatever you want to call it. That's what those are, and those are also heavy, and there's 4 of them in a package, which is perfect. Go on the bottom of each shock, so I'm definitely stoked on those. Actually, on this build, they will probably only go on the front shocks. I don't think I'll use the other ones on the back shocks. They'll probably go on another build, because the rear's leaf springs. So, then, what do we got next? We've got SSD hubs. These are the red ones here. And then also the scale rear hubs, which are all blacked out, which is how they should be. So, also from SSD. And then last but not least, we've got Beef Tubes steering knuckles here. They call them the beef shanks. And these are for the SEX-10-2. These are extremely heavy. I'm really, really stoked on these. The only thing I wish is that they were in black, and I'm not going to lie, I was looking at the Samex ones just because they were in black. But, these ones are heavier, and I'm a big fan of Beef Tubes, and I know they're strong. So I went with these ones, and we'll see what happens next time. Also, I think they might have been out of stock on the other ones too. I really wanted to do a comparison of all of this brass stuff and just see what I think, because I don't buy brass. I've never really been a guy to buy brass parts before. This is all new to me, and I really wanted to do a comparison between all these different companies adding brass, but at the same time come up with something that's going to work together. So we may have an issue getting these C-hubs and these beef shanks to work together. They may work fine. I'm not sure yet. We're gonna find out though. I'm gonna try to make it happen. So, you know me. I guess I don't really follow the guidelines. Most people just stick with one brand. But I really wanted to see. I was going for a certain look, and I still am not sure if I like what I'm gonna get out of this. We'll see. I'm just shooting in the dark here. So you guys leave me some feedback in the comments. Let me know what you think personally about using brass on your builds. Personally, I think from a performance standpoint, I think it's great. From a scale standpoint, I'm still a little iffy about it. We're gonna have to see on these Samex ones. I don't like these bright gold logos on there, so these may get painted over. It has nothing to do with these companies. I have no nothing. I have no favoritism or nothing going on with any of these companies, except for Team K&K Hardware. I definitely got their back, and Beef Tubes is really close with Team K&K Hardware, so I definitely have a fond side for Beef Tubes as well, just because I mean they've always kind of been there, and they're friends of friends. So I mean there is a little bit of love there, I guess. But at the same time, I like the black offerings from Samex. I just don't like that hideous looking gold stamp on everything. It looks like it got hit with the lightning bolt from Thor or something. I don't know. But anyways, I'm just being honest here, being see-through, and hopefully this is good feedback for the companies, you know, that make these products. Just coming from a skilled guy like me, I'm kind of a nerd with this stuff. So that being said, I'll show you the axles I'm going to build these on. So what I did is I decided I'm going to put all of this on some Boom Racing fat axles. Now I know some of you guys are saying, well, why didn't you go for Vanquish or whatever? Well, I have Vanquish axles. I've got F9s. I've got some Currys, you know, some Rock Jocks or whatever. So I mean, I'm very familiar with them. But in this case, I didn't want Currys per se. I wanted weight. I'm going for performance down low to offset all the weight that I've got up top. So what I did was I went for SEX 10-2 fat axle, all right? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to strip it down because I don't like the look of this diff cover at all. I really don't like that, and I don't like the look of the skid plate, the big bling bling skid plate thing that goes on there. So those are going bye-bye. Even though that diff cover is heavy and it does add weight, I'm getting rid of that. And this is what I came up with. I want to add these Poison Spider diff covers in all these parts and build them up, and in the end they should, you know, have a look kind of like this with all of the good stuff attached to them. So we'll see what happens here. You know, I'm not really sure. I really wanted it all blacked out. I didn't want any, you know, brass coloring showing. I wanted it all blacked out. We'll see what happens. I don't know. I may paint it, but I don't want to. A lot of people are going to think I'm painting it for Sorka rules, but I don't comp anymore. I'm not into that. For me, it's just for scale looks. It's all about that scale look, but also I want the performance. I'm extreme scale performance, not just extreme scale or extreme for performance. So anyways, that's what the plan is, you guys, is I want to... I'm going to build some really heavy axles. As far as internals go, I'll show you what I'm going to run for internals. We're going to go ahead and run Vanquish products, their AR44 gear set, their ring and pinion gear. I've got a complete set I'm going to run in here. I'm going to run, I don't know what I'm going to do for lockers just yet. I may run the factory lockers for now, or I still may swap these Vanquish ones out for the new design from Boom Racing that has the locker and everything all built in too. So I don't know. I'm up in the air. I'm trying parts. The AR44 axles, I haven't built as many of these as I have with the OG SCX10 axles. So I'm still filling them out, playing with them, trying to do my thing. I don't like to copy other people. I like to find my own lane. So that's what I'm doing. These are the parts I'm using for now. And you guys let me know what you think. Let me know if you've done anything like this so far, or have you done this exact same thing maybe. But that's what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to build these up. I'm going to put them underneath the SEX 10-2 Cherokee here. So, boom. There's everything all laid out. Hopefully you guys like this episode. This thing's came a long way, man, and I cannot wait until it's done and it's on the trail. It's pretty late. I'm getting pretty tired. I think I'm going to shut her down and start heading towards bed here pretty soon. Whew. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. You know what it is, fam. Piece of chick grease. Oh, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, man. It's free. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Plus, I do this all the time. What you got to lose? Let's nerd out together. All right. See you guys around. Piece of chick grease. Yeah.